Will here taking a look at something I've been trying to get for a while, slash kind of like if it was there, it was there. We're taking a look here at the Star Wars Legion's TX130 Saber class fighter tank. A friend of ours has been on some of our podcasts before. He who shall not be named. Me and them have split the starter box for Star Wars Legion. I'm going clones, of course, as you can see here. He's going the droids. So with that, we made a promise, we'd build our stuff, we'd play games. But the mad lad went and bought a tank ahead of time. And ever since then, trying to find one of these for cheap, because Legion is really expensive, way more expensive than Games Workshop for quality and quantity, customization, all that stuff. But it is to scale. I will give them that. It is to scale and looks appropriate for scaling and looks nice. But these things are really impossible to find. See here, because it is Fantasy Flight. Tell you what cards you'll need, because it is a card-based board game, RTS. It's more of a board game than it is a miniatures game. We have the back here, which shows you stuff. The model, scale, stuff, and all the tokens. Sides are basically bland, it just shows my art. But we'll come back and I'll have it opened. We're back. We have the model here. We have the instruction booklet. Build all the different modes. We have the large base. This is about the same size for our Warhammer players as, I want to say, Archeon's base. Or, your large $200 model for Age of Sigmar. I don't know what the equivalent for maybe like a Imperial Knight base for 40k. We have the tokens and stuff. Again, this is a board game RTS, so you still have like these funky weird measuring sticks, all this stuff, but it's more like a board game. Okay. Here we have the actual model. Unlike most of their models, like their infantry, where it's like this weird resin plastic. This is actual plastic, so plastic glue will work with this. And pretty detailed for being bland. One of the side panels. There. Here's the body. Looks like it all fits together. Like you might not even need to glue it. Which I noticed with a bunch of their models, you don't really need to glue them, but they're poorly molded, so I would recommend gluing them. Super glue for their infantry, plastic glue for this. Yeah. When we come back, I'll have this all built up, and we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys when I come back with it all built. Okay, guys, we're here. We just finished building it. Took me a couple hours, but here it is on its base, floating, just built and unprimed. For the most part, I will give it to Fantasy Flight. Their models, when they work, their idea behind the models is they're all pegged. So for those who may not be super, used to building models, they are supposed to fit together without very little to no glue at all, so you can just quickly play. With the bases being colored again, so you can quickly play. These plastic kits do it a lot better because they're metal. Whatever they use to mold their weird cheese resin, let's say it's like actual like game piece resin, it doesn't fit together properly. You have to cut the pegs and glue them with super glue. But you may get lucky. You might get a mold that's good. These plastics, on the other hand, work perfectly, and I think they should keep it. The pegs on this helped a lot, and it keeps the model together perfectly with very little to no gaps, and I love it. Especially since they're going to be monoposed anyways, might as well do it. Another cool thing about this model is that if you don't glue down everything, these the thingies that you know, repulse, the repulsor arms basically on that thing that makes it float. These can bend up and down. These fins for steering go up and down. These guns up and down. And I didn't glue him down, but he turns. If you wanted to, you can close this hatch. It glues on the outer ring. So you close the hatch down onto the top here. And you can have it spin and not worry about falling out. As we look here, here's the back end of it. But besides that, it was really nice. Again, it is pretty large. I'll get a model here for scale in a second, but quick tips and tricks I can give about this model. The one thing I would recommend that you should really check the instruction manual on is when you glue the arms here to the body, what looks like should be the top is actually the bottom. And I messed up so many times. I don't know, due to being tired or, dumb, but double and triple check when you glue the arms to the hull. The other thing is these arms, these repulsor fins, I'll call them repulsor fins, don't have a stable little lip to hold them up because it's supposed to be floating. So these arms are supposed to be flat. They don't, so they'll flop down. They'll just sag. So what I did was I super glued when I doubled and triple checked to make sure it's the right side up, which I can show you. That's the way it should be. I just super glued the pegs in there. So you guys, I'll go get that model and we'll take a quick look here to wrap up the video about a size comparison. So here we go. We have the model, the TX130, right next to a sister battle, the new plastic. Here we have from the top, from the front, and from the side. So with that, guys, so that has been the TX130 Saber by Fantasy Flight for their game Star Wars Legion. I recommend checking them out. The game looks cool, though for me, I like less. I believe a miniature game should be more focused on the table and the rules than a bunch of little Pete's and Bob's and tokens and shit. So, not really hugely my game, though I will play it from time to time as a palate cleanser. Very small games, keep it simple. Or tabletop, this might be a game I'd highly recommend for Tabletop Simulator, or if for some reason they do a digital game, I would play it on there than the tabletop. But if you're going fresh into a miniatures game, this is your first miniatures game, especially if you can find a store that sells Fantasy Flight, or you work at a store that sells Fantasy Flight, and you want to check out Legion. They do both they do Empire and Pre-Empire. Check it out. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video here. Bye-bye.